At the outset, let me congratulate all of you.
Thank you, sir.
I also know that it's a little longer process prelim than the mains. And my general belief is that having qualified means this lag is simpler.
Okay.
But I also noticed that in this lag, candidates are more scary. Reason being that in the two legs, the prelim and the main, there is nobody you are facing. It is your copy, your writer. Now you face 5 people. So that fear itself is probably creating problem. Is that right, or is my... I mean, what is that fear?
So it is probably also because when for mains or for prelims, we can analyze whether we are going in the right direction or not. This is very subjective based on how the board perceives us, and we do not
No,
know.
it's not subjective.
Okay.
Nothing in UPSC is subjective.
Okay.
Everyone knows, and they have not kept anything secret. If you read what has been written for the personality test, have you seen that? Have you read that paragraph?
Yes, sir.
Would you remember what is said? What is said in that?
Yes, sir. So it is not just a test of knowledge, but the personality of the candidate and a few keywords that they're looking for. Honesty.
So everything is known.
Yes.
That means we say that we are looking a person who is honest.
Yes.
It has an immediate impact on when you interact. That means you can't lie. You can't cook up stories. So there's only method.
Yes.
Like for example, they ask you one question, you answer. They follow second and third time you're caught. You got away first time, got away second time. And third time you're caught. Then you can imagine. You will not get any marks after that. So what else is an issue? So read that. So UPSC has not hidden anything. The format of questions could be different, but objective is the same. And we are looking somebody who take keen interest in the development of this country, who are honest, and who can think out of box. So if your interview is resting around tidbits, then you will not get marks at all. You have answered all questions and they ask you what is the flag, national flag colors, and you answered this. Everything has been done, but you still get 130, 120. But there is nothing which has been checked for you of your analysis, your thinking. You have no chance to demonstrate. So one of the technique is that each candidate must try to take the board up, and that depends on your knowledge base.
Yes, sir.
If you can't push the board onto higher strata where the difficult issues are discussed, and they will not give you marks. I don't know how many. Any of you engineer here?
Yes, sir.
You are engineer?
Yes.
You?
Yes.
All? Everybody engineer.
Yes.
Yes.
And you know for sure that when you give GRE, have you given GRE anybody?
No.
In GRE exam they give you 10 questions, you answer. And depending on how did you answer those 10 questions, there is a degree of difficulty. So if your difficulty is not higher, then you do all questions, you still get low marks. And if the difficulty higher and you are answering that, you keep on increasing degree of difficulty. Even answering half the question, you get more marks.
Okay.
It applies here. So most of the students tend to remain in mundane and they think, एक सवाल पूछ लिया, 2 पूछ लिए. That doesn't help.
So one question I would like to forward on behalf of them, that why IAS after engineering?
Generally, they would ask that question this way, but answer could be by individual. They cannot be a general answer. If you take a general answer, they know it's been copied, cooked, and coached. One of the important part is that it is your own method, the way you handle the question.
That's right, sir. The answers must be your own. And
If your answering is by your honesty, your heart. Other day, somebody brought a candidate on my known person. He is a very good candidate, but what mistakes he makes, whatever he thinks he was right, and then try to recall that same. So it appeared to be as coached. So no new thing can come. So idea that you must get involved in the interview, not recalling all the time. Okay, so how do you get involved in the interview is your own effort. And this only comes when you are confident about you and you know the subject.
That's another great point. Involvement is very important because you people just take type of quiz, question answer session. It's not question
There is
answer
no quiz
session.
master there.
Involvement and active involvement. So please.
So like you said that so they will always know about something that you have that you haven't done or that you're lying about. But there are areas in which we have worked, but we may not have engaged very intensively in them. For instance, during college we do a lot of things, probably for a period of 6 months or a year. So sometimes we forget.
They know.
Yes.
Why do you forget? You see, that's where the problem is. It's not a vabusi. It's a personality. And your personality is built in the day you are born. The way your family brings out, the village you come from, surroundings you know, you're growing with your friends, you learn your visual language, you learn to dine. So your personality grows. It's not that you are preparing for 1 month, 6 months, that your personality is built. So they look at through you, how did you build up yourself. So they know when you are in the college, you only got 6 months to do. Everybody knows this. And you say that you participate in debate in college. So we know it's in one-time activity. Maybe you have done 2 times. And if you won a medal, we also know what level the medals are. So it is nothing new.
So sir, if they
So you should know what you have done in your life. The point is, can you forget what you have done in your life? So this whole question cell is been 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, I have forgotten. It's a sure recipe of saying that you are useless. I think some of you would even remember which color dress you wore when there was a marriage in family. You do that? Once you can do that, in most of the time you remember.
Right, sir.
And if it is a dancing there, what music was played. Now if you can remember that, how can you forget that what subject you studied, what project you did, which teacher impressed you, who was your vice chancellor, how can you forget? So there is no pardon that I am preparing 5 years, I am forgetting my engineering, there is no pardon. Currently the discourse is technology. It's 5G, it is disruptive technologies, they talk AI, they do machine learning. It will not be asked to the computer science man. It will be asked even for Sanskrit graduate. But this has been a discourse in country for 4 years now. New education policy has focused 7 technologies which are going to influence our lives. So as a bureaucrat, your lives will run by AI or lives run by that. And if somebody says, what is a spreadsheet and you don't know, you made a fool of yourself, that's it. Now Ukraine is an issue going on, everybody will have mugged up answers. And somebody has to think differently. So more you mug up, more you lose. So thumb rule is, be involved, understand the question, make your assessment, answer.
as I had a similar question on that. So something that you've done for a short period in life, you may be able to answer some questions, but you may not be able to answer some questions.
But these activities will be few.
Yes, sir.
Activities talked about Ukraine war in India, let's for example. You think this will be good enough for one question?
No, sir.
So they will ask in depth.
Yes.
If they look at women empowerment, it will be in depth. They look at budget, it will be in depth. They want to know what are the problems of your city, how are you going to solve. Many a time you come to become a bureaucrat and you say you want to do good for society, and if they say, please tell us which 3 things you will do, then the game starts, you know.
Right, sir.
So more reading, broad-based, and having done 4 general studies paper, I don't think anything is required. So if somebody says now read, I don't know what would you read. I don't know. So best course is whatever you have studied in for civil service, based on that knowledge, try to ask question yourself At least in areas which are the central government policies. In nothing less than 50 questions per day you ask and answer.